Will Jonathan Isaac remain with the Orlando Magic through the upcoming season? Will he be on the team at the start of the season? Well, he's been involved in a lot of trade talks this offseason, casting doubt on his future with the team. But the Magic have shown nothing but faith in Isaac since they drafted him, despite his history of injuries. So time will tell how and what he can do and where. But I'm here today to tell you that I think Jonathan Isaac should and will be on the Orlando Magic this upcoming season, and we will see about going forward. But I'm super excited to see this team run it back with hopefully a healthy Jonathan Isaac because I think he is going to be a major key to unlocking the best version of the Orlando Magic. And we're going to do a little deep dive into Isaac's career today. But first, what's going on, Magic fans? This is your host, Sam Rodriguez, back with you today on Magic Digest to keep you updated on all things Orlando Magic this off season and prepare you for what we hope to be a really exciting season for this team. And I cannot stress enough the word healthy, a healthy season. I am also here to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel. 67.5% of you are not subscribed, and that will just not do. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn the notifications on as we get closer and closer to the regular season. Things are going to ramp up here on Magic Digest, and you are not going to want to miss a video. Now, as promised, we are going to talk a little bit more about Jonathan Isaac on this channel. He just continues to present such an interesting situation for the Magic in so many ways that I have not stopped thinking about. He represents the patience that the Magic have practiced over the course of his career and even before that, to be honest, and in their plans, given his history of injuries. And yet, when he's healthy, he's one of the best defenders on the floor. So you really do have to kind of balance out his value with his availability. Also, the Magic are going to be a luxury tax team for the next few years, and you can see what they're paying Jonathan Isaac up here now. They're paying him $15 million a year. They just have a lot to consider moving forward. And I think this upcoming season will reveal a lot. I think there's a lot of pressure on them to win. I also think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Jonathan Isaac to perform, but I'm excited to see what he does with that pressure. So just a brief overview for those unfamiliar with Jonathan Isaac. They drafted him 6th overall in the 2017 NBA draft. So a high draft pick with high expectations. Obviously, injuries have hampered that a bit. But at 6'10", he typically plays power forward, though he's spent some pretty productive time at center over the last 2 seasons. We're going to touch on that a little bit as well. He has a 38-inch vertical and a 7-foot wingspan. So from that description, you can tell he's got the great physical tools to be the great defender that he is. He can guard all 5 positions. And I want to show you guys a really cool graphic from Crafted NBA. I'm referring to the defensive matchup graphic on the right there, but it shows how much time he spends guarding each position. Primarily, he's defending centers and forwards, a little over 20% each, but he definitely can and definitely does defend the guard positions as well. I thought this was a really cool way to kind of like demonstrate to you guys how all over the floor that he really is and how versatile he is. He's also a really good rim protector. He averages around a steal and a block per game. Now, the unfortunate part about Jonathan Isaac's career is that there is so much potential and so much proof of him being in the elite tier of the league's defenders, but availability has just always put a damper on his ability to help the Magic. You know, he played only 34 games in the season prior to his injury. He tore an ACL and then suffered a hamstring issue as well. And those injuries kept him out a full 2 seasons. And then he only played 11 games in the season that he returned. But as I alluded to earlier, the Magic have never really wavered on Isaac. Granted, we can play the other side of that. He's a bit of a tough sell due to the injuries. But over the last 2 seasons, we're finally starting to see that patience rewarded. We're starting to see what a healthy Jonathan Isaac looks like and how he can help the team win games. So I want to take a look at the 23-24 season where he played 58 games. That was the 3rd most amount of games that he played in his career. It was the first time in his career he shot better than 50% from the field. When he was on the floor, opponents scored 7.8 fewer points per 100 possessions he played, and they also turned the ball over 1.9% more often when Isaac was on the floor. He also had a 7.1 block percentage and a 2.3 steal percentage. And you can see here he maintained those averages this past season despite some other areas of regression. Now, let's take a look at another stat from Crafted NBA. If you take a look at that bottom line under 2025, you can see all those red arrows pointing downward. Um, it just shows his regression kind of across the board last season, quite noticeably on offense. He shot 41% last season compared to 51% from the 23-24 season, specifically from the field I'm referring to. And he shot 25.8% from three compared to 37.5% in that 23-24 season. He was definitely off defensively as well. You can't see this here, but in that 23-24 season, he lowered his opponent's accuracy by 6% when he defended them. And this past season, opponents actually shot 0.3% better with Isaac on them. So if you listened to Isaac's interviews, he talked about how he gained weight for last season so that he could play more at the center position where the Magic experimented with him in that 23-24 season. They did see some success with him at that position in the regular season, and there was a bit of a fall off during the playoffs during that 7-game series against Cleveland. That was a really great playoff series, but that experiment carried over to this past season, and the results were a slower, less agile Isaac, which he explained didn't really fit with the way that he likes to play defense. And you can see the quote here. I tried to work through it as much as I could. I started to feel a little better toward the end of the season, felt a little lighter, a little more agile. And so I'm taking that into the summer and just focusing on my game and really getting into shape, shedding some weight, and getting back to where I was before. And this is where he's at now. These pictures were posted by the Orlando Magic X account, taken sometime during the summer. So you can see that he is getting into whatever shape he wants. But I can't really speak to how the weight gain this past season affected him offensively. I understand it more from a defensive standpoint, but regardless, it's definitely an area that needs to improve. But despite the regression, there are some positives to look out for from these stats. For one, he averaged the most blocks of his career since the injury. He actually averaged, I believe, 2.3 blocks in that season, his best season. But the most impressive positive was that he played 71 games, the second most games of his career. And I think that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day, is that Jonathan Isaac's availability, while the biggest question of his career, the biggest risk of having him on your team, is also his biggest strength. When he is on the floor, when he is available, he's impactful defensively, and he's going to help the Magic win basketball games with that ability to defend and be versatile doing so. So my thoughts are, if in fact last season's regression was due to inconsistencies while he was trying to adjust to the weight gain, then fine. I'm glad they experimented. I'm glad they saw what worked, what didn't work. But I would just say, let's get Jonathan Isaac back to the weight from that previous season, that 23-24 season, which was one of the most efficient seasons of his career, and he was super sharp defensively. If we add that guy, the best version of Jonathan Isaac, and not even best case scenario Jonathan Isaac, because even when he's not the greatest defender, he's still really, really good. If you just give me an improved Jonathan Isaac, just like kind of let's get back to the level he was at the 23-24 season, and you add him to this Orlando Magic team, which is the best version of this team in terms of roster construction that we've seen in how many years. The best version of these two things I think is a really scary team. So my point is, let's stop including Jonathan Isaac in trade scenarios for now. Run it back with him at his new weight in this new time, meaning in a wounded Eastern Conference. And I think that they could unlock something magical. Pun intended here. Don't forget to subscribe to the Magic Digest channel. I'm going to be keeping you guys updated on all things Orlando Magic this off season. And please do me a favor, drop a comment as always. Let me know what you'd like us to cover here at Magic Digest, and I will be back with you with some new news ASAP.